Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Nuclear Revenge. In today's episode, coworkers all laughed at my essay, got them deported. My school actually protected me even though I was harassed outside the school premises. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Coworkers all laughed at my essay, got them deported. I know it sounds bad, and maybe I did overreact. I was 18 years old, had been kicked out of my mom's and was living with my cheating, didn't know at the time, boyfriend while working 3 jobs to make ends meet. I had just started at this sushi chain in our small city when one of the chefs, middle-aged, offered to make me a roll. Even if it was comped, it still had to be entered into the POS system. I didn't know how and asked him to help. As he walked around me, he made a point of slowly, aggressively, rubbing himself against my ass and entire backside in front of the kitchen crew who were all watching. I left the room to gather my composure. I felt so violated and embarrassed. After deciding to walk out, I went back in to grab my things from the cubby. I entered the room to find that every single one of them was eyeing me and laughing at me. It was cruel and humiliating. On the way home, I got pulled over for driving a bit erratically, was extremely emotional, got a $900 ticket I absolutely couldn't afford. I was so absolutely infuriated with the chef and everyone there who laughed at me and delighted in schadenfreude at my assault. I guess now it's worth mentioning that they were all clearly immigrants. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but in my anger, I sent an anonymous tip to ICE. A few months later, I saw their Yelp reviews had tanked and all the recent ones were complaining that the entire kitchen had closed, their kitchen crew were all gone, the waitresses were huddled behind the counter talking about lawyers, they didn't serve any hot food anymore, and eventually, they shut down. An old coworker confirmed my suspicions were true as well. I'm not racist at all. I wanted revenge and took the cheapest route, I'll admit, but in my heart I still believed every one of them deserved it. Edit, I will reiterate some things from the Ordinal Post. The ticket was for speeding in a school zone, 33 in a 20 miles per hour. It wasn't a school, but rather a historic/public park with a XNG light that fell into that category for traffic citations. Failure to yield to pedestrians, they had barely reached the sidewalk and I didn't slow down. Yes, I was wrong, driving without proof of registration and insurance, I had both, but had misplaced the registration and didn't know the login info to the insurance app. This all got thrown out in court for a forgiveness law/program they had for young drivers. The manager who I reported this to after I left got charged by the restaurant for embezzling $10,000, and was fired after this. The owner tried not paying me for weeks until I threatened him with lawyers, then a guy showed up and paid me in cash instead. My school actually protected me even though I was harassed outside the school premises. This occurred over a decade ago. It happened at the end of my senior year of high school. I am from India, and girls are still afraid to tell others about being harassed because of shame and society. I was enrolled in a big school. There were almost more than 800 students in my school, so you can imagine the rush and crowd while leaving the school. It used to get so crowded and chaotic because there were parents' cars and auto rickshaws waiting to pick up the kids. Some kids are riding their bicycles through the crowd, while others run to the nearby vendors for pani puri and samosas. It's almost like an amusement park. One day, while walking hand in hand with my friend, I spotted this weird straggling man looking through the bunch of kids. I thought he might be looking for someone specific and didn't think much about it, but I must admit he was creepy. I saw him again a few more times daily. But one day, when I was walking with my friend, making our way through the crowd, that man crossed me. I was about to collide with him and tried to avoid him, but instead he pushed me and grabbed and pinched my chest area so hard that it began to hurt a lot. He was so smooth with his actions that my friend, who was by my side, couldn't tell what happened. She kept asking me what was wrong, but I just walked mindlessly to my auto rickshaw and sat there and told her to go away. She understood and walked away, as she used to live nearby. I was so shaken that when I got home and saw my parents, I burst into tears. Because I am the only child, I was never afraid to tell my parents anything, and I told them everything. My dad was pissed. And that's where our revenge started. I have never seen my dad so angry before. He drafted a plan to trap Sleazeball with his friends. We will name them Uncle 1 and Uncle 2. My dad was friends with our school principal. He visited him when I was attending my school the next day, as if nothing had happened, as they told me not to tell anyone. Our principal was great and assured us that even though it happened outside the school, they would fully cooperate to trap the Sleazeball. At lunch, they called me into the principal's office and told me that Uncle 1 and Uncle 2 would be scattered in the crowd with my English teacher. The school gatekeeper will be near me and my dad will be near the shop where I usually spot the man. They instructed me to walk normally with my friend and avoid them as if they were strangers, but to alert the nearest person as soon as I spotted the Sleazeball. My dad and others were there the whole day, and at 5 p.m. it was time to execute the plan. As I was instructed, I was walking casually with my friend. She asked me several times because she knew something was odd, but I told her to shush and enjoy the show. And then I spotted the Sleazeball actually harassing my other classmate, and I quickly alerted Uncle 1. Initially, it was planned not to hit him and just call the police, but he was caught in the act, so Uncle 1 dragged him away and started beating him. Soon my dad, Uncle 2, and the gatekeeper joined him. Then my English teacher handled the situation and dragged the Sleazeball inside the school gates and into the principal's office. My classmates surrounded me with questions, and I gladly answered them and stayed outside the gates with them. After a few minutes, I was called into the principal's office, where I saw the Sleazeball. I thought they might ask me some questions, but the principal gave me some apple juice and told me to relax. Sleazeball was there crying, begging to let him go as he would never do it again. He was badly bruised and his clothes were torn. After a few minutes, the police came and took the Sleazeball, and he was giving me such a deadly look that it still gives me the chills. My father and everyone else in the room were so happy and smiling as if there was a celebration and told me that they were so proud of me as I had saved multiple girls that day. I still don't know the details, but the school took full responsibility for our safety, put that man into jail, and CCTVs were installed within a week, even in a parking lot to cover the area outside the school. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.